In this lesson, we're talking about the surface area, and this particular lesson is broken into 2 videos. First of all, the surface area is a type of area. So since it's a type of area, it is measured in square units. So anytime I ask you for area or surface area, you're going to be using square units. The total surface area is the sum of the base area and the lateral surface area. If you had a right prism or a cylinder, your formula is 2b plus pH. Let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about it in terms of that orange juice can I mentioned earlier. So an orange juice can has a top and a bottom. So the reason it talks about the area of the base and having 2 of them is that there is a top and bottom. So this is where we're getting this figure. Okay, now the other thing it talks about is the lateral surface. So let's pretend for a second that I took the can, had a can, and I cut the top and bottom off. And then I sliced it right here and I folded it out. Well, if you took this orange region in here that you folded out and you folded it out flat, it's going to make a rectangle. So the way that you get that P is it's going to be adding up all the sides. So add up this side, this side, this side, and this side. And then you'll have your H. And so that's how they're coming up with this formula. If you had a pyramid, it has a different formula. It's 1 times the area of the base, because remember, a pyramid doesn't have a flat top, so it doesn't have the base. It doesn't have 2 bases, so that's why it's only 1 base, and it's 1/2 P times S. P stands for perimeter, but S is the slant height. So if you had a pyramid that looks like this, you have 2 different heights. And the best way I can explain the heights is to think about it in terms of the Bass Pro Shop in Memphis, the one that's in the pyramid. Hopefully some of you have seen it before, but if not, what's special about it is it has this elevator that goes up the center of the establishment, and it goes up to the top, and it goes to an observation deck. Well, if you're trying to decipher the difference between a slant height and a height, think about if you had an elevator shaft that went directly from the floor of the pyramid to the top, to the elevator, to the observation tower. That is the height of a pyramid. But there's a different height as well, and it's called the slant height, and that's the height that's in this formula. So if you were standing on the top of that observation tower, and of course you wouldn't want to do this, but if you thought, oh, it would be fun to slide down like a slide, and you slid down the mirrored part, the mirrored face of that pyramid, that would be your slant height. Of course you don't want to do that, and I'm not condoning that by any stretch, but think about it like a window washer going down the side of the Bass Pro pyramid. That would be the representation of the slant height. All right, so here's a surface area formula. I'm going to come back to that one. Let's go to some that we can work. You also have surface area of a right circular cone, and these videos will be these problems will be in your second video for this lesson, along with the surface area of a sphere. All right. There we go. So I want to, unfortunately there are 2 figures here. We're just going to do one at a time. Okay, so we're going to do this one. I ask you to find the surface area of this particular figure. Okay, so there is my formula. All right, so let's talk about this. Remember that the top and the bottom are the same. So the first thing I have to find is the area of this particular region right here. Let's just say it's the top, which is also the base, of course. So we're going to find the area of this region here. Now the first thing I know is I can make this right here into a rectangle. Okay, so now I've got this side and this side and this side. So this side's 8 and this side's 8, right? And this side it tells me is 15. So this side is 15. So the area of just that little piece right here would be area equals length times width. So the area of that piece would be 15 times 8. Okay, and 15 times 8 is 120. Okay, so the area of the red piece is 120. But that's not that entire base, right? So let's take this green piece. Okay, so now let's find the area of this green piece. Well, I recognize that to be a triangle. So the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Okay, the base is this part right here. Let me get a different color for a minute. I know that whole side is 21, right? And the red part is 15. So 21 minus 15 would leave me with 6. Okay, so the base of this one would be 6. And the height of it would be this height right here, which would be 8. And 1/2 of 48 would be 24. So the area of this particular base over here is going to be 120 plus 24, which is going to make it 144. So my surface area is going to be 2 times 144 plus. All right, so that's how we're going to start. Now, let's go to the pH. Okay, the H is easy. That's this little piece right here. So the H is going to be 3. Great. Now all we have to do is go back to that shape on the top. Let's see, we'll just use a basic color blue. If I go all the way around, I get 21 on this side. I get 8 on this side. I get 15 on this side. Uh-oh, I'm missing one. I don't know what this side is. And I must admit that caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting to not know that side just then. So what we're going to have to do is figure out what that side would be. So let's go back to that triangle. I have it kind of colored orange, so let's go to the side. With your orange, you're going to have 8 here and 6 here. So this piece right here that I don't know, that piece that I don't know is my hypotenuse. So I'm going to say that c squared equals 8 squared plus 6 squared. So c squared equals 64 plus 36. So c squared equals 100. And if I take the square root of those, c would equal 10. Okay, so now then, let's go back and try this one more time. I know that this side over here is 21, and this side right here is 10, and this side right here is 15, and this side is 8. So if I add those up, I get 25 and 29, 54. All right, so now I can use my little calculator and I can do the arithmetic and get the good answer that I'm looking for. So I've got 2 times 144, which would give me 288. And I have 54 times 3, which is going to give me 162. And that's going to give me 450. Okay, but remember this is centimeters, and remember it's area, so it would be square centimeters. And that's what my answer should be. Okay, that had lots of different things. So you had the area of a rectangle, you had the area of a triangle, you had the perimeter of a odd shape. And so that one was a little tough. Okay, let's try the second one. Okay, so again, it is a prism there. So we're going to say it's 2b plus pH. Okay, this time my base is a triangle. Okay, so let's talk about this triangle. I'm going to color it red. Okay, here's my right angle, right? So that means that over there is the hypotenuse. So if I think about this for a second, I've got a bottom, there it is all written out. So my hypotenuse is 5 and my bottom is 9, but I can't find the area yet because I don't know this height. So the first thing I'm going to have to do, just like I did in the last one, I'm going to have to use the Pythagorean theorem to find that missing leg. So the hypotenuse is 15. A, I'm going to leave as A. It doesn't matter though. I'm going to call B 9. So 15 squared would be 225, I think. I'm going to double check it in a minute. I'm going to subtract 81 from both sides. So A squared is 144. So that means that A is 12. So my missing side over here would be 12. Okay, so if I get ready to find the area of this triangle, so the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So my base for this one is 9, and my height for this one is 12. So that's going to be 1/2 of 108, which is going to be 54. So remember, the surface area is 2 times the base, which is 54, plus P times H. Okay, H is easy. This value is H. 8. All right, now then, here's your triangle, right? Right here's your triangle. To find the perimeter of that, all I have to do is add up the sides. So 12 plus 15, come on pen, work properly. 12 plus 15 plus 9, let's see, that's 7 and 9, it would be 16, we're going up 36. I'm going to try it out and see. That's 27 and 9. Yeah, looks good to me. All right, so now let's put them together. 2 times 54 is 108. And 36 times 8 is 288. Add them together, and you get 396. And this would be in meters, and it's a surface area, so it's meters squared, square meters. And that's how that one would look. All right, here's your last one. I think. Okay, and then after that one, I think everything else is covered on the next video. All right, so I ask you to find the surface area of the figure. And the surface area of this one, it's just the same formula, 2b plus ph. Okay, your base for this one is a circle. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. Now what I notice about this one is it doesn't give me r, it gives me the diameter. So if the diameter is 16, r is 8. Okay, so when I get ready to do this one, it's going to be 2 times 64 pi. Okay, now, getting ready to do the next one, we have P times H. H is easy. H is the 13. That is your height of the region right there. All right, so P represents the distance around. Okay. Now, we don't usually talk about perimeter of circles. We talk about something else. The distance all the way around the outside of the circle is the perimeter, but we call it the circumference. So remember, the circumference of a circle, it's pi d, but I know it better as 2 pi r. So we could say 2 pi times, remember our radius is 8, so this would be 16 pi. Now this is one of those where it's probably going to ask you for the nearest integer, so just use your pi key in your calculator. 128 times pi would be 402.12. 16 times pi times 13 would be 653.45. And then I'm going to add them together, and then I'm going to round. So I'm going to get that my surface area is 1055.57. So I'm going to round it up to 1,056, and it would be in square feet because it's an area. And that's how that one would look. Now then, I want to go back to that one that I skipped earlier. So this particular one asked you for the area of a pyramid. Okay? So if you take the area of a pyramid, surface area, the formula for the surface area of a pyramid, I'll get my sheet back out where I don't tell you the wrong formula. The surface area of a pyramid is B plus 1/2 PS. All right, so hopefully it's not too hard to do. Here's your base. What I notice about the base is it's 10 by 10. So if I'm talking about the area of the base, that's going to be side squared, or 10 times 10. So I'm going to get that that base is 100. Okay? Now the perimeter is also easy. Remember, perimeter, you just add up the sides. So if I said 10 plus 10 plus 10 on the back plus 10 on the left, 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 would be 40. So then you have to figure out your slant height. And finding out your slant height is the hardest part. But so far, we've got it going pretty well. Okay, so I'm going to write S there to represent my slant height. Now, here is my triangle right here. Any of the faces would do, but this is the triangle I'm going to do. And I'm going to drop a perpendicular, which means drop it down the center. Meant for it to be a different color. Drop that perpendicular down the center. Now, it might be easier to see on this front side, so let's try this again. I'm going to drop a perpendicular down the center. Now, what it's given me is it's given me that this side over here, the side of the pyramid, is a 13. And then I dropped this, it's called an altitude, to the center, so this is going to be a 5. Okay? Now then, I need this height right here. I don't know this height, that slant height. I need this height right here. And here's what I have so far. Not drawn to scale, obviously. Okay, so this is what I have so far. So I'm missing this leg over here. So remember, we're going to say C squared equals A squared plus B squared. So C squared would be 13 squared, and A could be 5 squared, and B squared. So 13 squared is 169. 25 plus B squared. If I move this 25 over, I get that 144 equals B squared. Take the square root of that, and B would be 12. Okay, so your slant height there is the value 12. Okay, so now then, I have my formula complete. I just need to do my arithmetic. So I have a 100 right here. 1/2 times 40 times 12 would be, what, 240 maybe? I think that looks right. And add them up. And 100 plus 240 would be 340. And that it would be in square centimeters. Okay, and they worked it out as well on the paper, but I just want to show you how we would do it. Or how I would do it.